talking about that moment, talking about why he was incoherent. And here is what he said. He said that it was due to the fact that he had consumed some apple cider. Take a listen.
But I didn't want to not do it because
apple cider. Like, what was it doing?
Sulfites in it.
What was it doing to you?
Oh, it produced an overwhelming sense of impending doom.
Candace Owens versus the Daily Wire isn't going anywhere. It's just starting to heat up, it seems. Candace Owens, ever since being fired from the Daily Wire, has been going after people like Ben Shapiro and, Andrew Klavan and all these guys. But now she's even going after Jordan Peterson and exposing a lot of hypocrisy, exposing a lot of weird stuff that's happening, not just within the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro and Andrew Klavan, or Clavin, however you pronounce his name, but also now with Jordan Peterson, exposing just a lot of weird things, a lot of hypocritical things that Jordan Peterson has been doing before and after signing to the Daily Wire. Let's get into this clip here of Candace Owens. These couple of clips that are very, very interesting to me, and I think you will also find them interesting, of Candace Owens exposing some things about Jordan Peterson. This video is from Candace Owens. It's titled, "Is This the End of Jordan Peterson?" Let's check this out.
Self-respect. And again, it made me reflect on just how far feminism had gotten, that we were making men feel so deflated that it took just one man, a professor, to stand up and say, hey, you don't have to feel that way. And your life should have purpose, and your life should have meaning, and you should do things that give your life purpose and give your life meaning. So I was like, kudos, love it. And as I said, I got to meet him multiple times. I've spoken at events with him, and I was very impressed with him. Then things started to shift. So let's recap what happened. In January of 2018, so this was really at the peak of his celebrity, he appeared on Sam Harris's podcast, which was entitled Waking Up with Sam Harris. And he seemed rather incoherent when he was being asked for a basic definition of truth. And people recognized this. Perhaps they didn't overthink it. But a couple of months later, in July of 2018, he sat down with Joe Rogan talking about that moment, talking about why he was incoherent. And here is what he said. He said that it was due to the fact that he had consumed some apple cider. Take a listen.
But I didn't want to not do it because
apple cider. Like, what was it doing?
Sulfites in it.
What was it doing to you?
Oh, it produced an overwhelming sense of impending doom. And I seriously mean over.
What the hell is he talking about? Maybe I'm crazy. Let me know in the comments. But to me, what Jordan Peterson is saying, he's saying apple cider made him have an impending, or a sense of impending doom. What?
Overwhelming. Like, there's no way I could have lived like that if that would have lasted for. See, Michaela knew by that point that it would probably only last a month, and I was like,
a month?
Yeah,
from
a month.
Cider.
Oh, I didn't sleep that month. I didn't sleep for 25 days. I didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep at all for 25 days.
How is that possible? That
I'll tell you how it's possible. You lay in bed, frozen in something approximating terror for 8 hours, and then you get up.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, not
and
good.
This is from cider.
Oh wait, what I'm talking about is apple cider vinegar that we used to use as punishment, not just normal cider. So yeah, I know people are gonna make that correction, but it's it's basically the same stuff, but one is vinegar and one isn't. But still, even Joe Rogan's reaction, you can tell, is like very skeptical of, like, you seriously, like, that's coming from cider? like what is this guy talking about? Maybe I'm insane. I don't know. A lot of times when I'm doing these videos, I feel like I'm genuinely going insane because of how ridiculous these things that people are saying. And then I'll say how ridiculous it is, and as I'm saying it, I'm thinking of the comments that are going to come in and explain to me why I am the insane one, why I am the ridiculous one. And it's like, I genuinely feel like I'm going crazy. So let me know in the comments, am I going crazy?
I feel like Joe Rogan is all of us. I'm listening to that and it doesn't pass the sniff test. I'm just going, wait, what, apple cider? You didn't sleep for how long? What are you talking about? He brings up Michaela, by the way, that's his daughter. We're going to get into it. That explanation does not make sense to me whatsoever. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to know how everybody's body reacts to apple cider, but I just don't think that you wouldn't sleep for that long because of it. Now, what followed thereafter was that in February of 2020, so that's almost a year and a half later, news broke that Jordan Peterson was seeking emergency drug treatment in Russia. According to his family, and this was in a CBC News article from February of 2020, Jordan Peterson's family says he has sought emergency drug detox treatment in Russia after several...
We're going to skip forward a little bit here because there's another very, very interesting moment that happens later on. And I just want you guys to see this.
Disturbed about. Now, again, it's likely because Nick Fuentes has a very long background of focusing his attention on Israel and Zionism, and that's what he is reacting to. Also because Nick Fuentes has called out Jordan Peterson explicitly for a very long time as somebody who he believes has more of an allegiance to Israel than he does to Western civilization in general. Essentially, that he would put Israel before he would put Canada and before he would put America. Now, I don't know if that's a fair critique of Jordan Peterson, but I do know that it is off-brand for him to respond by calling someone a psychopathic rat. I mean, calling somebody...
By the way, that is a fair criticism of Jordan Peterson and also basically every other mainstream conservative pundit out there. Everybody who doesn't have that stance where they are completely sold out to Ben Shapiro's favorite country and more, they support that country more than they support the United States. They want, the things to happen that's in the best interest of Ben Shapiro's favorite country more than they care about America itself or Canada in Jordan Peterson's case. Unless you have that stance, you're not going to get to Jordan Peterson's level. If you have that stance, you get the Candace Owens treatment. If you have that stance, you get the Elijah Schaffer treatment. You get all these allegations thrown at you and you get all the, you get canceled, you get fired from everything. You're not going to get to Jordan Peterson's level unless you have that stance. So it's a money move for him. And I think that he's been decently honest about the fact that he doesn't comment on a lot of this drama and stuff that's happening with the Daily Wire because it's all a money move. Like, he wouldn't be doing this unless he was making a ton of money from it, which I don't think that's like inherently wrong. It does just get a little tricky whenever the things you're making money off of actually cause harm to your home country, to the country that you're living in currently, and to a lot of innocent people in these foreign countries that you are kind of warmongering and trying to push this war further, trying to make this war go on longer, many wars go on longer. And, all these innocent people are dying as a result of not just Jordan Peterson's words, obviously, but a culmination of all these people pushing these agendas, pushing these narratives. It doesn't help. I can tell you that much.
A name, calling somebody an animal when you are billing yourself, right, as the calm, rational psychologist, doctor who insists on logic and that the better ideas should win is just going to be off-brand. But we should also be honest here that while people are pretending this is about Jordan Peterson versus the Groypers, or pretending that every person that we're seeing right now that is having a battle right now, it's due to the Groypers, that is not what we are watching, right? Like I said, this began long before it arrived between a beef between Michaela and Jordan Peterson and her father. It really began with people feeling like they don't trust the voices that are in the media. And Jordan Peterson is one of these voices. And that distrust in Jordan Peterson actually began when he wasn't radically honest about his addiction. And then it began further when they saw him basically not behaving in the way that he instructs others to behave.
It's just, there's a very easy way to tell nowadays and it's making these people very nervous. That's why Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and all these guys are lashing out at people who they used to just ignore. They used to just brush off to the side. People like Nick that Canace Owens is talking about. They're now lashing out at these people because they have exposed a very easy test to the general public for us to be able to tell who is telling the truth, who is actually trying to go after the truth and find it, and who is trying to, improve society, and who is out there just farming money from what they deem as idiots online. And you can kind of tell by their opinion on the stuff happening in the Middle East. If they have the opinion that Ben Shapiro's favorite country can do no wrong and you must support that country or else you're anti-Semitic and all these other things, well, then they're sold out and they just want money. Because that's the opinion that you have to have in order to get to the top. But if you're able to criticize them a little bit, someone like even Dave Smith, who's not like he's not like a Nick type personality. He's not someone who is constantly talking about that one thing, Ben Shapiro's favorite country and Ben Shapiro's favorite people and everything like that. But whenever asked about the topic, he's not shy about saying, yeah, I think there's something fishy going on with all these people supporting Ben Shapiro's favorite country more than they support the country that they live in. It is definitely fishy. And, Israel has done bad things and stuff like that. Most people who are, at the Daily Wire, they're not going to say those things. Candace Owens said those things and she got fired. So it's a very easy test that they've exposed. And now Ben Shapiro and Andrew Clavin and Jordan Peterson, these people all feel naked. They feel like they've been exposed. And there's a very easy test that has existed. It's existed for a long time for a lot of people. But now it's like the general public knows that if you support this country blindly and doing horrible things that it's doing, well, you're probably not worth my trust, and that's scaring them. That's scaring the shit out of them.
There is a famed expression, those that can't do, teach. And people are wondering if Jordan Peterson is one of these individuals. He does not live his life in order, but he teaches order. Virtually everything that we've seen happen has seemed quite chaotic in his life. His correspondence with his daughter, watching this on Twitter, genuinely was just chaotic. I thought, this is chaos. What is this? Why do we have a psychologist and his daughter, and his daughter's calling for the speech censorship, and he's not agreeing with her necessarily, but he's doubling down on using the word rat, which she says needs to be censored. It felt like chaos. It didn't feel like 12 simple rules. And so that is why I believe that a lot of men have fallen out of love with Jordan Peterson, because they don't perceive him as somebody that is living his life honestly. I would, by the way, jump at the opportunity to have a discussion with Jordan Peterson. I have no bad feelings about him whatsoever. Like I said, he treated me extremely well. Every time I've ever spoken to him, seen him, he has been very kind. But this is a moment. We are watching a shift in politics. And I would love to know if Jordan Peterson believes that this shift is simply because there are people that are so awful and so rat-like and not deserving of our time, or if he recognizes that there's something larger that's happening and he's perhaps developing tunnel vision and thinking that it's because of the Groyper movement, when in reality people are losing trust in the institutions and they're perceiving him as part and parcel of those institutions now.
100%. If Jordan Peterson were to have a conversation with anyone like Candace Owens and was asked that question, he would 100% say that it's because of people who are hateful towards Ben Shapiro's favorite people. He would say it's because of the Groypers and everything like that, and people who are just anti-Semitic. That's what he would say. He wouldn't, like, that's what he's supposed to say. That's like the canned response, that they're all going to say. He is part of those people. 100%. Let me know in the comments what you think about Candace Owens exposing a lot of this BS, this hypocrisy going on with Jordan Peterson. She's been exposing the Daily Wire for a while, but now Jordan Peterson is kind of at the forefront of a lot of the drama happening online, and a lot of those tweets have been going viral. So Candace Owens felt the need to also put her 2 cents in when it comes to the Jordan Peterson situation. I have to agree with Candace Owens here once again. Let me know in the comments what you think about this Candace Owens versus Jordan Peterson situation.